If you have ever known anyone that was in an abusive relationship and she hated being in that relationship and she finally broke free, but then 6 months to a year later, we find out she's in exactly the same relationship with a different person. Same type of abuse, same type of problems. Have you ever wondered why that happens? Then this video is for you. In the world of psychology, there are 4 basic metatypes that people fall into that tend to pick the wrong people, and they don't understand why. First things first, I need you to understand that your brain is not looking for anything that is healthy. Your brain is looking for something that is familiar. The reason why is because if something feels familiar, your brain feels like you are safe, like you are secure. And this is why if you've ever seen a woman that's in an abusive relationship like I just told you about, and she gets out, but yet she finds herself in another situation very similar, it's not that she wanted that. In fact, if you asked her if that's what she was looking for, she would say no. The problem is that she is familiar with that. And so her brain seeks that out. Even though in her emotion center and in her feelings, she doesn't want it, she will subconsciously seek out that same type of person because it's familiar and she knows how to live in that situation. Now, with that being said, let me break down the 4 metatypes of categories that these type of people fit into. Let's get going. And metatype number 1, I'm going to call the reflector. So if dad was a critical jerk, they're going to look for somebody that's similar to that critical jerk that was their father. If mom was distant, if she was unavailable, if she was very difficult to be with or to be around with because she didn't want a close relationship, the reflector type person will seek out someone who is unavailable, whether they're physically unavailable because they're already married or in some way already committed to someone else, or maybe they're simply emotionally unavailable. A familiar situation here would be someone in her 30s or 40s, or a man in his 30s and 40s, and they're looking for someone that is very similar to the type of person that treated them the way that they were treated when they were growing up. So they look specifically not only for people who are unavailable, but also subconsciously, they're looking for people that give them disapproval. Now, the second meta category I'm going to call the Recreator. And the Recreator will specifically seek out not only relationships, but even in their job situation, they will seek out activities that push them too far. Because when they were younger, they were in situations that they could not control. So what they do is they intentionally recreate those types of situations, but now they control them. This is the kind of person that will seek out drama on purpose. Why? It's not because they love it. It's because if they do it on purpose, they are now in control of it, and that drama doesn't control them. They will work way too many hours. Why? It's not that they want to, it's that at least they are the ones that are controlling those extra hours that are burning them out. So they're recreating the stress and anxiety from their earlier years, but this time they're in control of it. Now, the third metatype category, I'm going to call the role reverser. This is where the man or the woman that we are talking about becomes the thing that hurt them. If you were powerless when you were younger, you made no decisions, you become the dominant one. You ensure that you are never again in a powerless position. You're reversing the roles. If you were made to feel invisible, maybe your parents were unavailable, maybe they were too busy for you, maybe you were just neglected or ignored, you become flirtatious or you become the loudest person in the room. Regardless of which avenue you choose, if this is you, if you're the role reverser, you're going to try to become the center of attention because you never were when you were younger. Oftentimes, people in this situation end up with what's called cluster B mental disorders, and specifically, they can be antisocial, they can be borderline, but many times they begin to fill out the type that we would call histrionic personality disorder. In the fourth metatype category, I'm going to call the realizer. And this is the person that feels like they need to finish something that is unfinished. They need to complete something that was uncompleted. They need to make sure that something that was never put together gets put together. Now, unlike the role reverser who will become the thing that hurt them, the realizer will seek out the thing that hurt them. They will seek out relationships with people who resemble the people that hurt them when they were younger. And why do they do this? Because there's something unsettled inside them that was never finished. So what do they think? Many times they think, this time I'm going to get the love that I didn't get from my mother, from my father, from my friends, from my acquaintances, from a boyfriend or from a girlfriend. All the things that I didn't get back then, I'm going to make sure that I get this time. Now, what do we do with this? Let's say that you become aware that you actually fit into one of these categories. What happens if you decide to intentionally break that category? In other words, you are realizing that you actually fit into one of these things, you start seeing what these things are, and you decide not to do them anymore. The warning is this: when you break out of one of these metatypes, you're going to find out that the lack of conflict and the sense of actual peace is going to be 100% unsettling. It'll be uncomfortable. Why? Because it's unfamiliar. This is why some people who were raised in chaos, when they finally get into a healthy relationship, they don't know what to do with it. And they subconsciously sabotage that relationship. Why? Because it's uncomfortable. It's unfamiliar. They're used to chaos. And when there's no chaos, they can sometimes feel bored. They can sometimes feel like something isn't right. This doesn't fit. It's unfamiliar. And remember what I told you at the beginning, your brain doesn't want what's good for you. Your brain will subconsciously seek out what is familiar to you. Here's the encouragement. If you can keep at it for 30 to 60 days, roughly, depending on the person, you will create new neuronal pathways in your brain where your brain will start accepting that peace is actually good and not unfamiliar. Your brain will start to accept that lack of conflict is a good thing. It's not uncomfortable, it's comfortable. So my encouragement to you is that you can do this. If you can just put up with the discomfort for 30 to 60 days, create new habits, you will create new neuronal pathways in your brains, new circuits that will light up and do things that are good, things that will bring you peace, things that will bring you comfort instead of discomfort. So I want to tell you that I believe that you can do this. It's all about getting to know what your brain actually wants and then figuring out what's best for you.